Talking about the politics of Canada, especially Ontario. I am Peter Beimers, two-time candidate for the New Blue Party of Ontario. Let's get to it. Well, last week's video, I talked about the horrible deal that Carney made with China, and I talked about the disaster of flooding Canada's EV market with Chinese spy cars, electric vehicle cars, so-called cars, and flooding an EV market that truly isn't even there for Canadian-made cars. And he wants to put China's cars in here. Makes no sense to me. One of the comments in the video that somebody made was, "Well, what do you suggest?" The other comments on the video seem to be from the elbows up crowd, so whatever. But that question, what do you suggest, is a good one, but I believe that the answer is fairly obvious and multifold. One, don't trade the maple leaf for hammer and sickle. In other words, don't forsake Canada's sovereignty for some pie-in-the-sky new world order that Carney likes to triumph and to trumpet. Carney, like Trudeau, I believe, he views himself as some important expert in this so-called new world order. He, like Trudeau, believes that he is deserving of being on the board of directors in this new world government. He truly believes, as we can see, that this world is heading for one world government, currency, and religion, and he wants to be in charge, or one of the people in charge. But Carney really needs to get his head out of the sky and back to reality. This will never happen, nor can it. And for a party that is so supposedly celebrating diversity, the irony is shocking. With so much diversity, this one world government can never happen. The answer is not some world government modeled after Marxist ideas. Two, Carney needs to answer the question truthfully. Is China a threat to Canada or not? Last year, he said that China was Canada's greatest threat. Now he's buddy-buddy with them. Perhaps he's taken a page out of his predecessor Trudeau's book and saying that he also admires the basic dictatorship of China. Clearly, he was just saying what needed to be said at the time to get elected, but now that he's elected, he feels he could do whatever he wants, and his actions prove it. His deal with China and his speech to the Davos group proved that as well. And speaking of his speech to the Davos crowd, which is getting championed by leftists all around the globe, and especially here at home in Canada, it really shows where his loyalty lies, and that is with the World Economic Forum, which is headed up by China. And his loyalty is not with Canada. To him, it appears that Canada is simply a means and a stepping stone to his end. He outright lied in his speech, saying that Canada is thriving. Really? Surviving is more like it, and we're surviving despite life getting more expensive for the citizens of Canada because of all the taxes and everything else being imposed on the citizens of Canada. Sure, he used a lot of flowery language and circular arguments and phrases, which of course the Davos crowd loved. And why not? He was just repeating their own plans of one world government, which is why Trump was so unpopular there. He's bucking the system. He's saying no to that one world government, and he's showing no interest in joining with such nonsense. Speaking of Trump, number 4 of what I suggest, let's actually get a trade agreement in place with the U.S. Let's actually work towards a deal with the states. And it should be obvious to everyone that Carney, like Trudeau before him, has not even tried. I don't believe he's tried at all. Maybe give him 5%, but that's being generous. I believe so because every other nation that has gone to the table with the states has come away with a deal. Carney would rather believe his own lies, his own propaganda from CBC and feed the TDS and see Canada fail rather than negotiate with Trump. He truly, I believe, wants Canada to drink some poison and hope Trump gets sick. The epitome of TDS. And this new ridiculous trade deal with China just proves it. And it's going to have consequences with the U.S. When predictably so, those consequences came out in the last few days. And that of 100% tariffs on Canadians' goods coming into the U.S. if this trade deal with China goes through. So Carney needs to think through, is he going to do what's right for the people of Canada? Or is he going to go ahead with his one world new government WEF nonsense and put Canadians, their jobs, and their livelihood at risk? So if you got your elbows up, keep them up, maybe take them down, but it's time to face reality. In less than a year, Carney has proven to be a complete disaster for Canada. Life's gotten more expensive. There's no trade deal. He was heralded as the great negotiator. He's failed completely at that. And of course, the leftists will quickly come out and say, well, Trump wanted Carney in place so he could negotiate with him. I think the opposite is true. Sure, Trump may have wanted Carney in place, but that's only because Carney's a weaker leader and knew he could just steamroll him. And in doing so, Trump is exposing Canada's weaknesses and exposing Carney and the Liberal Party for what it is. And of course, CBC, Carney, and the Liberals and the leftists of Canada don't like that. What he is able to do better than Trudeau is explain to Canadians why going down the tubes is a good thing, why you should like it. After all, Orange Man bad. Carney may look and sound more competent than Trudeau, but I believe that's where the improvements end. I think the reality is Carney's been a complete disaster. The Liberal Party, the minority government we have in place now, has been a complete disaster, even though they're trying to buy themselves a minority by paying off some Conservative members to cross the aisle. And Carney really needs to step back, maybe even step down, because I don't believe he will ever allow a win-win for Canada and Trump together, because it would mean a win for Trump, which is the epitome of TDS. His followers claim to be woke, but they're so woke they're asleep to the reality around them. Carney would rather sell out Canada for some one world government nonsense rather than do what's best for Canadians, their jobs, their livelihood. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you like what you hear, share with your friends, like, and subscribe for when new videos are posted every Monday night. Now, quickly for baseball, spring training is about 2 weeks away. And Jace, you got to sign some relief pitching in the last 2 weeks before we open up in Dunedin.